Welcome to our video on the 8 worst foods for your nerves. Our goal in this video is to help you maintain a healthy nervous system by revealing which foods can negatively impact your nerves and overall well-being. Nerve-related issues are becoming increasingly common, with many people experiencing symptoms such as tingling, numbness, pain, or even muscle weakness. These sensations can be extremely uncomfortable and frustrating, making it difficult for individuals to go about their daily lives without constant distraction from their nerve discomfort. Furthermore, these symptoms may also lead to more serious health complications if left unaddressed. It's essential that we understand how certain foods contribute to these problems so that we can make informed decisions about what we put into our bodies. The nervous system plays a crucial role in regulating various functions within the body, from controlling muscle movement and balance to transmitting signals between different parts of the brain. However, consuming certain types of food can cause inflammation or other negative effects on the nerves themselves. This damage could result in miscommunication between cells or even cell death, leading directly to those unpleasant feelings of pain and discomfort associated with nerve issues. In this video, you'll discover which specific foods can negatively impact your nervous system so you can make healthier choices when planning meals, ultimately reducing instances of painful nerve-related symptoms while promoting overall wellness. But before we dive in, can you do us a favor and like this video? Ring the bell for future notifications, and make sure you subscribe to our channel to help us reach more people. Okay, let's get into it. Number 8. Caffeine. Gather round as we sip our way into the heart of the morning's magic potion coffee. Bursting with antioxidants, this aromatic elixir doesn't just wake you up, it brings a host of health benefits to the table. According to a study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, coffee aficionados might even have a lower risk of tricky villains like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. But let's take a detour and peek under the hood of your cup of joe. Meet caffeine, the secret sauce making coffee a wake-up wizard. This natural stimulant doesn't need a golden ticket to your central nervous system. It's got a VIP pass. Here's how it works. Caffeine plays a clever game of musical chairs with a neurotransmitter called adenosine, usually in charge of relaxation and sleep. When caffeine claims the adenosine's spot, other neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine start stealing the limelight, boosting alertness and concentration, as shown in a study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. Sounds like a no-brainer for the night owls among us, doesn't it? But if you're dealing with nerve damage, it might be time to rethink your relationship with caffeine. You see, caffeine has a side hustle. It gets your body to release cortisol, a stress hormone that can send your blood pressure through the roof. If this high-pressure gig becomes a regular gig, it can wreak havoc on your nerves. The tiny blood vessels supplying life to your nerves could take a hit, compromising their ability to transmit signals effectively, as highlighted by a study in hypertension. And here's the kicker. Caffeine also cranks up the volume on excitatory neurotransmitters, the ones responsible for transmitting pain signals. A study in the journal Pain found that regular caffeine consumption can worsen neuropathic pain. And let's not forget our nightly rendezvous with sleep, the ultimate sanctuary for the repair and regeneration of nerve cells. However, caffeine, in its typical mischief-making style, can disrupt the quality and length of your slumber, as a study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine suggests. So, the final scoop? A dash of caffeine might not cause a stir for most, but if nerve damage is knocking on your door, tread lightly. A switch to decaf might just be the perfect brew for you. Number 7. High-sodium foods. All right, my friends, let's switch gears and turn our attention to a hidden character in our kitchen drama. Sodium. Now, this element isn't the villain of the story, mind you. It's a critical player in the symphony of nerve impulses and muscle contractions. The catch is, as with many good things in life, moderation is key. Just like a sprinkle, too many of salt can overpower your grandma's secret soup recipe. Excess sodium can send your blood pressure into overdrive. And as we've discussed, that's no small potatoes for the blood vessels supplying your nerves. But that's not all. A high-sodium diet could turn up the heat on inflammation. And let me tell you, Inflammation is no friend to your nerve cells. It's a known accomplice in the development of neuropathy. So, how much sodium should you invite to your daily feast? For most adults, about 1,500 milligrams is just about right, and 2,300 milligrams should be your upper limit. Salt. That box of crystals that wields the power of sodium is a combo of sodium and chloride. In a typical mix, you'll find them in a 40-60 ratio. But like a master chef tweaking their recipe, this ratio can change based on the type of salt you're using. To give you a taste, 1,500 milligrams of sodium would be roughly half a teaspoon of fine iodized table salt or around a full teaspoon of coarse sea salt. Always make it a habit to check the label of your salt, and don't forget that sodium isn't just found in your salt shaker, but also in everything else you eat. If processed foods are frequent guests at your table, your sodium count could be soaring sky high. But fear not. There's no need to sacrifice flavor for health. We've got a lineup of taste-boosting superheroes ready to save the day. Spices. Cloves, for instance, are like tiny bodyguards fighting off oxidative stress and shielding your nerve cells from damage. Ginger swoops in with potent anti-inflammatory effects to alleviate nerve pain. And don't forget cinnamon, improving insulin sensitivity and blood sugar balance, crucial for nerve health and overall well-being. By integrating these spices into your cooking, you'll not only sidestep the nerve damage linked to excessive salt intake, but you'll also tap into the abundant health benefits these flavorful heroes bring to your table. Number 6. Refined carbohydrates. Ah, the allure of refined carbohydrates. Think about the crusty white bread, fluffy white rice, and those breakfast cereals that bring back memories of Saturday mornings. But let's not be fooled by nostalgia or convenience. These refined carbs are, unfortunately, no friends to our health. Here's the lowdown. Anyone keeping a wary eye on diabetes needs to pay special attention to carbohydrates, no doubt about that. But refined carbs? They're especially troublesome. Picture this. These carbs have been stripped bare of their fiber, which sets them high up on the glycemic index, causing rapid blood sugar spikes post-feasting. Now imagine these sugar spikes as tiny wrecking balls damaging your blood vessels, slowly but surely contributing to neuropathy over time. And that's not all. These refined villains also rally the troops for inflammation and oxidative stress, both notorious for increasing nerve damage and playing a part in other health complications. So, if you're looking to keep diabetes at bay or simply aiming for a healthier diet, bidding adieu to refined carbs is a wise move. But let's not drown in despair. There's a whole world of healthier options to explore. Consider, for example, trading your traditional white bread for a hearty whole grain loaf or a low-carb alternative like pumpkin or almond flour bread. And why not swap white rice for its nuttier cousin, brown rice? You could even venture into the territories of quinoa or cauliflower rice. And when it comes to snacking, remember, low-carb doesn't have to mean low fun. We've got a smorgasbord of delicious low-carb options in our other videos. So it's not just about cutting out the bad stuff, it's about embracing a new world of tasty, healthful alternatives. Studies indicate that refined carbohydrates can be particularly dangerous for anyone looking to keep diabetes at bay. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, for instance, has highlighted a direct association between high glycemic index foods, like refined carbs, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. The trouble with refined carbs is that they've been stripped of their fiber armor, making them easy targets for our bodies to break down and resulting in rapid blood sugar spikes. Imagine these sugar highs wreaking havoc on your blood vessels, potentially leading to neuropathy over time. Additionally, research suggests that these refined rogues instigate inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are infamous for escalating nerve damage and contributing to a myriad of other health complications. If your health goal is to stave off diabetes or simply embrace a healthier lifestyle, reducing your intake of refined carbs is a strategy backed by science. Fortunately, the realm of healthier options is vast and varied. Switching from white to whole grain bread not only provides more fiber, but also has been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, according to a study published in the BMJ. And when it comes to rice, studies have shown that brown rice, quinoa, and cauliflower rice have lower glycemic indices than white rice. Low-carb snacks don't have to be a boring affair either. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that low-carb diets can lead to greater weight loss than low-fat diets, showing that it's not just about removing the unhealthy elements, but also about introducing beneficial alternatives. Number 5. Trans fats. All right, folks, let's delve a little deeper into the dark alley of dietary rogues, the infamous trans fats. These unsavory characters are like the villains in a film noir. They're bad news, and they're everywhere. You see, trans fats are essentially dietary double agents. Not only do they stoke the fires of inflammation and oxidative stress, potentially putting your nerve health on the line, but they also have a nasty habit of boosting your risk for heart disease, stroke, and a gaggle of other health ailments. Don't just take my word for it. An eye-opening study showcased in The Lancet found that folks who indulged in trans fats on a daily basis had a heart disease risk that was 50% higher than those who only dabbled once a month. It's stats like these that led to some countries giving trans fats the boot, although keeping them off the menu has proven to be a harder task than anticipated. Now, here's where things get tricky. Trans fats, often under the clever disguise of partially hydrogenated oils, have a knack for sneaking into all sorts of seemingly innocent products. From your favorite margarine to those comforting baked goodies, they're lurking in the shadows. Don't be fooled by the trans fats-free labels on your store-bought cookies, pastries, and pie crusts. They also love to gatecrash your snack time, showing up in crackers, chips, microwave popcorn, and even in frozen pizzas and dinners. A study published in Nutrients underscored the dangers, revealing a significant association between trans fats and higher levels of inflammatory markers. Meanwhile, research featured in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition underlined the potential nerve damage, with data indicating a direct link between trans fat intake and an increased risk of neuropathy. So, how do you keep these unsavory interlopers at bay? The key lies in embracing your inner Sherlock Holmes. Make it a habit to scrutinize nutrition labels and ingredient lists on packaged foods. Keep a keen eye out for phrases like partially hydrogenated fat. Your health is worth this detective work, and trust me, your nerves will send you a thank you note for your efforts. Number 4, processed foods. Well, folks, we've arrived at the part of our dietary journey where we unpack the Pandora's box of ultra-processed foods. Now brace yourselves, because these culprits have been pulled into the spotlight of scientific scrutiny, and they're not exactly earning any gold stars. Take a recent study, for instance, published in the respected journal Nature just this year, 2023. This eye-opening piece of research found a clear correlation between consumption of ultra-processed foods and central nervous system demyelination. Let's put it into perspective. Each daily serving of ultra-processed food was tied to an 8% bump in the risk of central nervous system demyelination. Quite the wake-up call, isn't it? So, what's on the hit list? Packaged snacks like chips and cookies, instant noodles, prepackaged sauces and salad dressings, and reconstituted meat products like chicken nuggets and fish sticks are just the tip of the iceberg. And don't let those artificially flavored cheese and yogurts or processed meats fool you either. We're dealing with a whole slew of nutritional imposters here. Why are they bad news? Well, let's take processed meats, for instance. These often come loaded with sodium, preservatives, and additives like nitrates. These components are known to stoke the fires of inflammation, disrupt blood flow, and interfere with the regular operation of our nervous system. But it's not just about what these foods contain, it's also about what they lack. Ultra-processed foods are notorious for being low in essential nutrients needed to keep our nerves in tip-top shape. In essence, they're a mishmash of chemicals masquerading as food, all dressed up with nowhere to go but your body. The secret to steering clear of these culprits lies in going back to basics. Cook meals at home using fresh, whole ingredients. I know it might seem a bit inconvenient compared to the grab-and-go meals at the store, but believe me, your health will be sending you thank you notes. And here's a pro tip. Whip up big meals and stash the extras in the freezer. It's a savvy way to eat healthily, make the most of seasonal produce, and save yourself some time in the long run. If your heart's set on treats like cookies or muffins, consider whipping up your own batch. You'll know exactly what goes in and what doesn't. Goodbye chemicals, hello real ingredients. Plus, it gives you the chance to swap in healthier alternatives, ensuring your body is running on premium fuel. Now, isn't that worth the extra effort? Number 3, alcohol. All right, let's shift gears and chat about something that's always the life of the party: alcohol. Now, whether it's a festive toast or a wind-down glass of wine, we've all invited this guest into our lives. But here's the rub. Too much alcohol might be throwing a rather harmful party of its own inside your body, especially when it comes to your nerves. Let's dive into the science bit, shall we? Alcohol, when consumed excessively, can play the villain to your nerve cells. It cranks up the toxicity levels, making the environment hostile for the nerves and sometimes leading to their untimely demise. In other words, too many shots can lead to a lot of missed shots for your nervous system. But there's another plot twist in this tale. Alcohol seems to have a bone to pick with thiamine, or as the health buffs call it, vitamin B1. This essential nutrient is crucial for nerve function, but alcohol barges in and disrupts its absorption and metabolism. Keep this up for too long, and you might find yourself grappling with alcoholic neuropathy, a condition that brings along a suitcase of troubles including pain, weakness, and a sensation akin to 1,000 pins and needles pricking your limbs. And if that wasn't enough, our not-so-friendly liquid also takes a swing at your liver. By causing liver damage, it messes with your body's natural detox system, adding more grist to the mill. So what's the bottom line here? It's simple. Play it cool with alcohol. Whether it means limiting your intake or choosing to opt out of its intoxicating embrace entirely, showing alcohol the door could make a world of difference for your nerve health. Number 2, gluten. All right, let's enter the world of breads, pastas, and cookies, only to encounter a bit of a conundrum. Meet gluten, a protein that's taken center stage in dietary debates. You'll find it hiding in wheat, barley, and rye. This tricky character can potentially throw a wrench into the workings of your nerves, especially for people riding the roller coaster of diabetes or grappling with other health conditions like celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. Gluten can play a rather unsavory role. When gluten struts into your system, it can trigger an autoimmune response in some people. This is like raising the alarm for your immune system, which responds with inflammation and a bout of damage to your small intestine. Here's where it gets interesting. Your small intestine is the grand central station for nutrient absorption, including essential patrons like vitamin B12 and magnesium, which are vital for your nerve health. When gluten causes damage to this crucial hub, it can lead to a scarcity of these vital nutrients. Over time, this deficiency can contribute to nerve damage or amplify existing issues, such as diabetic neuropathy. In short, if you've been playing detective with nerve issues and find yourself in the company of conditions like diabetes, celiac disease, or gluten sensitivity, it might be worth taking a closer look at gluten. It could very well be the uninvited guest causing the mischief. Number 1, refined sugar. Imagine this. There's a villain in our everyday culinary tale who's so well disguised, we barely bat an eyelid at its presence. It's hiding in plain sight, lurking in our morning cup of joe, baked into our favorite treats, and even sneakily nestled within packaged foods. This rascal goes by the name of refined sugar. Now let me tell you, this little devil's impact is nothing to scoff at. Refined sugar has a knack for kicking up inflammation, stoking oxidative stress, meddling with glycation, and throwing a wrench into insulin signaling. The result? It throws off a multitude of processes in your body, leading to nerve damage and other unpleasant maladies. Perhaps what makes refined sugar all the more cunning is its addictive nature. Sugar-laden foods and drinks are so commonplace in our society that we often overlook the significant harm they can cause. But countless scientific studies don't pull any punches. They consistently highlight the link between high sugar consumption and a buffet of health problems, including nerve damage, diabetes, obesity, tooth decay, cardiovascular disease, and so much more. Now, don't be fooled. Cutting back on sugar isn't just about taking a pass on the sugar bowl for your coffee. As I said, refined sugar is a bit of a sly fox, hiding in many packaged foods. That's why it's crucial to don your detective hat, read labels, and whip up homemade meals whenever possible. When that sweet craving strikes, don't deny it. Just be smarter about it. Swap out milk chocolate for its more sophisticated cousin, dark chocolate. Make sure it's 75% cocoa or more. Not only will it tickle your sweet tooth, but it'll also gift you with a hearty dose of antioxidants. Just steer clear of varieties with added sugar. And remember, it's not just about avoiding the bad, but embracing the good. Consider choosing whole fruits over fruit juice. Unlike their juice counterparts, whole fruits come packed with fiber and essential nutrients, offering a bounty of health benefits. Plus, the natural sugar in fruit, when enjoyed in moderation, is a far healthier choice than the refined kind found lurking in sodas or processed snacks. So, there you have it, folks. Our culinary culprits when it comes to nerve health. The likes of refined sugars, gluten, alcohol, ultra-processed foods, trans fats, refined carbohydrates, and high-sodium foods, though they might tantalize our taste buds, wreak havoc on our nerves. In this day and age, they're lurking around every corner, but being savvy about our choices can help us sidestep their pitfalls. Just like a whodunit novel, unraveling the mystery of what's in our food might take a little detective work. But the payoff, your long-term health and wellness, is surely worth the endeavor. Remember, it's not about a stringent list of do's and don'ts, but rather cultivating a more mindful relationship with food. As you navigate your way through the gastronomical galaxy, remember that small changes often yield the most lasting impact. Experiment with spices over salt, opt for whole grains instead of refined carbs, and enjoy the natural sweetness of fruits instead of falling for the refined sugar trap. And while it might sound daunting to overhaul your diet, keep in mind the wise words of food writer Michael Pollan. Don't eat anything your great-great-grandmother wouldn't recognize as food. As long as you're treating your body with respect, fueling it with whole, nutritious foods, and indulging in the occasional treat, you're well on your way to keeping those nerves as healthy as can be. If you found this information helpful, show us some love. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more enlightening content. And don't forget to tap that notification bell too. It'll make sure you're the first to know when we release our next video. And one more thing, if you're feeling extra generous, why not send us a super thanks? Your support keeps us going and allows us to continue bringing valuable content your way. Go on, have fun exploring the bounty of delicious and nerve-friendly options out there. And remember, as the fantastic Julia Child once said, people who love to eat are always the best people. Now let's extend that to include people who love to eat well. Here's to good food and, most importantly, good health.